ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिनी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी देशकारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते भूपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते नमो ब्राह्मण देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगन्हिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय ते नमः तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्णास्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरक्षे नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे
हरे कृष्ण माता।
हरे कृष्ण भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमः वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीगुरु दीननारायणं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं जयो श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण we are reading prayers of Pralhad Maharaj. My voice is clear, Mataji.
It's a little, there's little disturbance, but we can still hear you, Mataji.
Hope now it is okay.
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.40. जिह्वैकतो अच्युत विकर्षति मा वितृप्ता शिष्णो अन्यतस्त्वग् उदरं श्रवणं कुताचित् घ्राणो अन्यतश्चपलधृक् वच कर्म शक्तिर्भव्यैः सपत्न्य इव गेहपतिं लुनन्ति. Difficult one. जिह्वैकतो अच्युत विकर्षति मा वितृप्ता
जिह्वैकतो अच्युत विकर्षति मा वितृप्ता
शिष्णो अन्यतस्त्वग् उदरं श्रवणं कुतश्चित्
शिष्णो अन्यतस्त्वग् उदरं श्रवणं
घ्राणो अन्यतश्चपलधृक् क्वच कर्मशक्तिर्
घ्राणो अन्यतश्चपलदृक् क्वच कर्म शक्तिर्
भवै सपत्न्य इव गेहपतिं लुनन्ति
बह्वः सपत्न्यः इव गेहपतिं लुनन्ति
जिह्वैकतो अच्युत विकर्षति मा वितृप्ता
जिह्वैकतो अच्युत विकर्षति मा वितृप्ता
शिष्णो अन्यतस्त्वग् उदरं श्रवणं कुतश्चित्
शिष्णो अन्यतस्त्वग् उदरं श्रवणं कुतश्चित्
घ्राणो अन्यतश्चपलधृक् क्वच कर्मशक्तिर्
घ्राणो अन्यतश्चपलदृक् क्वच कर्मशक्तिर्
वै सपत्न्य इव गेहपतिं लुनन्ति
भवै सपत्न्य इव गेहपतिं लुनन्ति.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, then its genitals to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch to contact with soft things. The belly, although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. The restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. Mataji, please read.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The human form of life is meant for God realization, but this process, which begins with Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, hearing and chanting of the holy name of the Lord, is disturbed as long as our senses are materially attracted. Therefore, devotional service means purifying the senses. In the conditioned state, our senses are covered by material sense gratification, and as long as one is not trained in purifying the senses, one cannot become a devotee. In our Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, we advise that from the very beginning that one restrict the activities of the senses, especially the tongue, which is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura as most greedy and unconquerable. To stop this attraction of the tongue, one is authoritatively advised not to accept meat or similar uneatable things, or nor to allow the tongue to hanker to drink or smoke. Even the drinking of tea and coffee is not permitted. Similarly, the genitals must be restricted from illicit sex. Without such restraint of the senses, one cannot make advancement in Krishna consciousness. The only method of controlling the senses is to chant and hear the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, one will always be disturbed. As a householder with more than one wife would be disturbed by them for sense gratification. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Translation. My dear Lord, O infallible one, my position is like that of a person who has many wives, all trying to attract him in their own way. For example, the tongue is attracted to palatable dishes, the genital to sex with an attractive woman, and the sense of touch to contact with soft things. The belly, although filled, still wants to eat more, and the ear, not attempting to hear about you, is generally attracted to cinema songs. The sense of smell is attracted to yet another side. Restless eyes are attracted to scenes of sense gratification, and the active senses are attracted elsewhere. In this way, I am certainly embarrassed. So, can anyone tell me why Prabhupada is giving here attractive to cinema songs? Obviously, in that age, there was no cinemas, right? Hare Krishna.
Basically, any
Mataji,
songs that do not talk about Krishna Katha are useless.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Yes. Thank you,
Yes,
Veeramati.
Mataji, it was just similar. I was saying that earlier, a lot of circus and drama used to take place during Prabhupada's time, and people actually got attracted because that was a way to lure people, deviating them from the way of divinity. So, probably to keep up with the age, probably Prabhupada wrote cinema songs over here.
Yeah.
Hare
It's not
Krishna.
Prabhupada. See, this is verse said by Pralhad Maharaj to Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji, yes.
Yes, you're right. So we can understand because it is pleasable, no? Something it says in the if we see in the synonyms, it is correctly given. Somewhere it is there. Shravanam is the ear. Can you see? Yeah, here. Shravanam, the ear, for hearing some sweet music, it means, okay. That's what he said. So means which is not glorifying of Krishna, apart from anything, right? So we see that even Narad Muni tells to Vyasadeva that in chapter 5 of Canto 1, like it is considered to be a pilgrimage of rose for saintly people, no? Because saintly people don't like to engage in unnecessary talk or where there is no glorification of God. So they don't want to hear anything which does not glorify. But we are very fast attracted to materialistic thing, no? So why it is done? So Prabhupada says there are two ways to purify ourselves. So the one way is to do that is by doing austerity, by controlling senses, no? So controlling senses is not easy. Is it easy?
No,
Prabhupada
Mataji.
says,
No, Mataji.
yeah, it's not easy, right? So controlling senses means it, because even Chanakya Pandit says that uncontrolled senses is equal to like you are living in a house of snakes, means that to poisonous snake. Anytime a poisonous bite, immediately the person dies. So similarly, we are having, if our senses are very uncontrolled, then it is going to harm us, no? Actually, what is difference is between a sattvic person or and a rajasic and the tamasic person? The control is not there, no? They don't have any control on senses and they do as they wish, right? So by that, what happens? In chapter 14, Krishna says that pramada alasya nidrabihi, no? So actually the characteristic of a tamasic person is there. And also it said madness. They are always they behave like a mad person because of the uncontrolled senses. All things happen, bad things, because of the uncontrolled senses. But it is not easy to say, but then Krishna only says in chapter 2, like Indriyani pramatini harante prasabam manaha, means the senses are so strong that it can take away intelligence of even it can take away intelligence of even a very intelligent person also. It takes away because the senses are so strong. So the senses are so strong, and Krishna's external energy is also very strong. Agree? The Maya is also very strong, right? So both are strong. So how do we control? So we get attracted so fast. So in chapter 5, Krishna says, Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonava evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. So it is said that when senses are come into contact with sense object, the pain starts. No? The misery, the suffering will start. And an intelligent person will not take pleasure in such things. So usually whatever is good, it is actually said poisonous in the beginning, and towards the end it is nectar. That's all, no? So the sattvic means anything we want to do, it is initially any good habit we have to inculcate or cultivate. So it will take time. It's not, but we should not give up, right? We should not give up. And it is very hard initially and slowly, but the result will be good, right? So like if we have to keep good health, we have to have control on so many eatables. So many things are restricted. You can't have too much sweet, too much of oil or salt like that, and all so many restrictions will be there, right? So, but what is the benefit? We are going to get a good health. But in Rajasic, it is not like that. Initially, when it is senses come into sense object, there is a happiness. So, but then the result will be suffering. And in Tamoguna, it's from starting also it is madness, ending also is madness. So it is said like that. So Prabhupada says, so the two types are there to control senses. One is that to control senses and purify ourselves. Purification happens by that. Because the sages also, they by doing all that, we see the Ashtanga Yoga, all the Yama, Niyama, so many restrictions, all by doing that, finally they are able to concentrate on Paramatma. But easy way is Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada says, by taking Bhakti Yoga, automatically it cleanses our heart from all the anarthas. So Krishna will remove those. So when it is said, Shrunvatam Swakatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Rudyantasto hi abhadrani Vidnoti Surutsatam. So what does it mean? The person, Shrunvatam Swakatam Krishna. So one who has developed a taste, in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, all the misgivings will be gone. Who will take away? Krishna. Krishna will take away all those anarthas from our heart. So unless Krishna does, we cannot do it ourselves, because there are so many examples in Shastra. Can you give like yogis, big yogis who have fallen down? That they had tried to control their senses, but then they couldn't, right? So any examples you can remember?
Yes, Mataji, Vishwamitra.
Yes, Vishwamitra is a good example. So many
Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj actually, he was actually in exalted stage. We can't say for sense control. He was in a bhava stage, no? Yeah, he became attached, Mataji. Towards attachment. Yeah. Any other example you can remember for sense control?
Ajamila also, Mataji.
Yeah, Ajamila is a good example, right? So, yes. So he was attracted, right? He wanted to, I think something similar we read also in the purport Prabhupada had given.
There used to be another sage too who was meditating inside the water, and he saw two fishes and he wanted to also become a grahastha, Mataji. Yeah.
Yes. What was his name? Shabari, something like that.
Yeah, something starts with S. Shaubhari Muni.
Shaubhari Muni, correct.
Yeah.
Shaubhari Muni, right? Yeah. He was also actually, he knew that material energy is so strong. He didn't want to live in this world. He went inside water. There he saw two fishes, and then he got the desire to get married. See how strong is it? The senses. So controlling is very difficult. But then if Krishna wish, he can take that desire when he sees that we are very sincere. And here Prabhupada says, like Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, great devotee, and he's also like Manjari in the spiritual world, right? He has written a poem called Manas Shiksha. Manas Shiksha means it is training for the mind, teaching. I mean, literally we are telling the mind, speaking to mind, how it would be. Like it's because it is said mind is like a baby, and the intelligence has to teach the baby, right? So it is like that. So mind. So he says their mind, which is uncontrolled mind, he compares to a prostitute. Meaning, a prostitute takes away all the wealth from a person who is very lusty person, right? So she will take away. And similarly, when he says that we are engaged in unnecessary talks or prajalpa, so the person's intelligence is taken away. So he compares like that. So how bad it is, it gives us like how we can fall down just by engaging with materialistic people and chanting with them. We will also lose control. Yes, right? Because we will forget Krishna. And Krishna, if we are ready to forget, and Krishna will make us forget. If we don't want to remember Krishna, yes, Krishna will make us to forget Krishna. Correct? So he'll not. But then, so, what I was saying. Mm.
We will
Yeah,
forget
Mana
Krishna.
Shiksha. Yeah, Mana Shiksha, right? Yeah, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says like that. Yeah, Krishna, if you want to forget, he will give the forgetfulness. So, so it is compared to prostitute. So similarly, here in the translation also we see that Pralhad Maharaj is comparing the senses to a person who is having many wives, meaning every senses are distracting us. No, eyes is asking something else, ears are asking some good music, like that. All the senses are actually distracting us, and we are not able to concentrate on the Lord. So we can experience this in the practically while chanting, right? So while chanting, we it's so many disturbances. We'll feel like, okay, all the things, unimportant things will become important while chanting. We may feel like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. Yes, do we experience this? You want to, that time only you have to.
Always, Mataji.
Correct? Yeah, it happens. We feel that is more important. Something will come important, or you have to go and do that, like that. All will come at the time of chanting. So it's not easy to remember the Lord. So fast we get distracted. So it is said, if our chanting is good, everything else will become perfect. So, but then how do we do that chanting? So it is, we have to think, it's not just important that 16 rounds we do very dedicatedly. It is just like 10%. Okay. 10% is okay. And then what about the other, look, 2 hours we dedicate chanting. What about other 22 hours? How do we engage ourselves? What are the activities we are doing? That is also matters most. If we are only chanting and then fine, and all the other time we are engaged in materialistic thing, so how can we those thoughts will obviously conquer our mind, correct? So then how can we do the chanting? So we have to be very careful. What do we do in the balance hours? So abhyartha kalatvam, the devotee, pure devotee or advanced devotee, what are the, by his behavior we can make out what does he do in a free time. Now, how does he spend time, right? He does not waste his time in unnecessary news or sports, right? Or in entertainment, games. So these things, if we are doing, obviously, we cannot have a proper chanting during the chanting time, correct? So actually here we can understand this is not Pralhad Maharaj again. So this is for us. And he's saying that especially, and of all the thing, no, there are 6 things which has to be controlled as per Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in Nectar of Devotion. Anyone knows what is the shloka? What are the 6 things? If we control, he says that you can make disciples all over the world. What are those?
Is it 5 senses and the mind, Mataji?
Correct. You know the shloka?
No, Mataji.
I can help you with the starting. Vacho Vegam.
I don't know. I have not memorized it, Mataji.
Mataji,
Okay.
may I try?
Yes, please.
Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam. Sorry, Mataji, only up till here.
Udaropasta Vegam.
Tata vegam. Yes, Mataji.
Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivva Vegam, Udaropasta Vegam, Etan Vegan, Ya Vishahe Tadiraha, Sarvam Sarvam cha prithvim cha sishyat. So it says Vacho Vegam, one who has controlled his tongue. No, this is most difficult thing. We may have given up the meat, we may have given up coffee, tea also. Here Prabhupada says you have to given up those. Those are all actually abandoned. We should not even have. No, but then there are still more to it, which means having only prasadam. So this is the high. We have to come to that stage. But is it easy? It's so tough. It's very challenging. You can at home. We can do it. But what about when you go outside? Right? Do you face such challenges
Yes,
outside
Mataji,
when you
get
go?
invited for birthday parties and all other parties. It's hard, and it's hard to
Yeah,
explain
very
if you
hard.
don't follow that.
Yeah, very hard to explain. And many times it happens like, yeah, I mean, and you should be ready also for that. Like many relationships also may break, right? Because earlier she was coming and having, now why so many things they are not
Mataji,
ready to have. Yes.
a very good thing has happened ever since I have joined Krishna consciousness 5 years back. My
Okay.
unwanted relatives, I have withdrawn
Mhm.
automatically from
Mhm.
them, and somehow I am at the
Yeah.
peak of my peace. I'm at the peak of my peace, and even if they invite, it's just that either they have to prepare food that I may be able to eat, or I actually end up carrying my tiffin box from home. So it's kind of a very nice scenario for me, because recently I attended a wedding within the family wedding, and I did not eat even a single thing outside, because the person who prepared it was actually, I saw him smoking. So my
Okay.
family is Krishna conscious. So said, okay, do not have some patience. It was Ekadashi also. We were having fruits only, but then I could have had something that was sweet over there. But then he says, don't eat. This guy who prepared it was smoking. I saw him preparing. So these are kind
Oh,
of awarenesses that have come up only after being in Krishna consciousness. Earlier, this was
yeah.
not there.
So very nice, Mataji. So very nice to hear that your family is Krishna conscious. I think you are really a great devotee that you are able to convert them also by your sincerity. Seriously.
Yes, Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So yeah. So your husband and children, everyone follows, is it at home?
No, Mataji, it's I who is doing it. Then my husband's family who has converted into Krishna consciousness. I'm trying to convert my daughter and my husband into being Krishna conscious, but it is taking me some time. But I am not giving up so easily. They have started to chant. One thing is good, they have started to chant.
Very nice.
And I first gave them a personal copy of Bhagavad Gita. So once these two things start, and they are normally hearing my classes, so
Yes.
devotee association indirectly is falling into their ears. So my initiative has started, and now it's up to, I'm leaving everything up to Lord Krishna. I said, now they are your children, take care of them now. So this is how
Very
I
nice.
function in the family. And my extended family, both my parents' side and my in-law side, half the family has become Krishna conscious.
Wow. So nice. So they would have seen something, right? They must be, I mean, they are inspired by you, obviously, by your behavior, and maybe they feel like you are always, I mean, you said you are at the peak of your peace. So basically, everybody wants that peace. So when they see
Yeah.
you, they may feel, okay, oh, how come she's always happy, not disturbed? Something is there, right? They must have started
In
chanting by seeing
In
you,
fact,
correct?
Mataji, my domestic help, she has started to do fasting after getting inspired from me. She is
Mhm.
working for me for 10 months. She says, you are my inspiration. She has just started to begin
Wow.
fasting this month. Until then, she used to say, I cannot control my hunger. I cannot fast at all. Now she survives on a bowl
Hmm.
full of curd with sugar. And that's, I said, you managed it. She said, now I
Wow.
can manage. So this is the conversion
So
that is
that is the
happening
power
with
of
me.
chanting. No, that is why
Yeah.
NND Prabhuji always says when we approach new people to read or to anything to do austerity, they will not do it. But that is why we have to only tell them to chant. So when a person is agreed to do chanting, then automatically all this will go, right?
Yeah.
So slowly they will leave. I mean, if they are taking non-veg or drinks or these things. But if people are not having, then it's not so difficult. Only thing is to following the whatever is given in by our acharyas, right? So
Yeah, in fact,
so
there
very
are so
nice
many
example.
people I gifted Bhagavad Gita to. I've been giving, but in fact, I am not very good at selling Bhagavad Gita, but I give them as a gift. So what happens? Whosoever, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues were so critical in and around my family. Whenever I gifted a Bhagavad Gita, exactly after 1 year, I noticed that was a huge mental and emotional change in the family. There was more
Yeah.
peace. Either
Are they
people were
reading?
accepting.
Okay. Are they reading that, Mataji?
Mataji, one thing is there, they have opened the seal of the book. I do not penetrate too much. I have, because the moment they start seeing the shlokas and the purport, they are unable to understand. So I am just taking my time, and with difficult people, I'm taking my time to penetrate.
Yeah, it's okay. I think someday when they show interest, you can join them for the classes, right? So
That
that
I
is
am
better.
always doing. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Very inspiring,
Yeah, so
Mataji.
similar. Yes, Mataji. It's inspiring for me also. Very nice. Yeah. So here, this is basically, so it is said when we are doing with sincerity, like, so Krishna will, when Krishna is pleased, then he gives that strength. So, so holy name is having so much strength, right? So we know, like even the example of Mrigari, when he was, he was very cruel towards animal. He was also half killing. Like Narada asked, you can kill it fully. Why are you doing like that, half killing? No, you're giving so much of, causing so much of pain for that living entity. Because he could not see. That is the same condition. We are not able to see a suffering of another living entity, but a pure devotee is able to see that. So he said, then after he gave him the Harinam, right? After a few years, when he comes back, he sees that he didn't even wanted to kill an ant. So that was his consciousness. So how did it happen? He gave up everything because the power of holy name is so powerful. So so with this we can, so that is why we have to give more importance to our chanting, and also what do we do the other part, time of the day. Go to the next one. 7.9.41. एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्याम् अन्यो यजन्म मरणाशनभीतभीतं पश्यञ्जनं स्वपर विग्रहवैरमैत्रं हन्तेति पारचर पिप्रि मूढमत्य एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्यम्
एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्याम्
अन्योन्य जन्म मरणाशनभीतभीतम्
अन्यो जन्म मरणाशनभीतभीतम्
पश्यञ्जनं स्वपरविग्रहवैरमैत्रम्
पश्यञ्जनं स्वपरविग्रहवैरमैत्रम्
हन्तेति पारचरपि मूढमत्या
हन्तेति पारचरपिप्रीहि मूढमद्य
एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैरतरण्यम्
एवं स्वकर्म पतितं भव वैतरण्याम्
अन्योन्यजन्म मरणाशनभीतभीतम्
अन्यो जन्म मरणाशनभीतभीतम्
पश्यञ्जनं स्वपरिविग्रहवैरमैत्रम्
पश्यञ्जनं स्वपरविग्रहवैरमैत्रम्
हन्तेति पारचर पीप्रुहि मूढमत्य
हन्तेति पारचरपिप्रीहि मूढमद्य
Ankita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now, kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pralhad Maharaj, a pure devotee, prays to the Lord, not only for himself, but for all other suffering living entities. There are two classes of Vaishnavas, the Bhajananandis and Goshtianandis. The Bhajananandis worship the Lord only for their own personal benefit, but the Goshtianandis try to elevate all others to Krishna consciousness so that they may be saved. Fools who cannot perceive repeated birth and death and the other miseries of materialistic life cannot be sure of what will happen to them in their next birth. Indeed, these foolish, materially contaminated rascals have manufactured an irresponsible way of life that does not consider the next life. They do not know that according to one's own activities, one receives a body selected from 84 lakh species. These rascals have been described in Bhagavad Gita as Dushtkritino Mudha. Non-devotees, those who are not Krishna conscious, must engage in sinful activities and therefore they are Mudhas, fools and rascals. They are such fools that they do not know what will happen to them in their next life. Although they see varieties of living creatures eating abominable things, pigs eating stool, crocodiles eating all kinds of flesh, and so on, they do not realize that they themselves, because of the practice of eating all kinds of nonsense in this life, will be destined to eat the most abominable things in their next life. A Vaishnava is always afraid of such an abominable life, and to free himself from such horrible conditions, he engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord. The Lord is compassionate to them, and therefore he appears for their benefit. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata apyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. The Lord is always ready to help the fallen souls, but because they are fools and rascals, they do not take to Krishna consciousness and abide by the instructions of Krishna. Therefore, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes as a devotee to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. Yara dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesha. One must therefore become a sincere servant of Krishna. Amara ajnana guru hana tara ei desha. One should become a guru and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world simply by preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Translation. My dear Lord, you are always transcendentally situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering, and by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. So Krishna, he is the one he is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the destroyer, right? So Pralhad Maharaj is praying. So because he's a pure devotee, he's saying because not they're not worried only about themselves, no? They are always so compassionate to other living entities. So we pray, right, every day. Vancha kalpata rupyascha krupa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we pay our humble obeisances to patitanam pavanebhyo on all the fallen conditioned souls. So because they are called as ocean of mercy, no? Krupa sindhubhya evacha. Krupa sindhu. They can show compassionate on all the even the fallen souls, because Krishna will Krishna will, if somebody is engaged, he is not interested in Krishna, Krishna will make easily forget us and engage in sinful activities. But then who will help them to come out of it? Only the devotees. Because when Prabhupada went to West, right, mostly people are, Prabhupada says in the poem, in his poem also, like, where did I come? Because he felt it as a naraka, no, it's a hell for a pure devotee. No? For a materialistic, it is a heaven, because he had so many things for his sense enjoyment. For a pure devotee, it's a hell, because he can't see anywhere God conscious, and people are engaged in all the sinful activities, right? So it's a hell. But then he feels very sorry for them, because they don't know what is the purpose of life, and they're simply suffering, because engaging in those activities make the person more and more binding, and he will has to come back many lives, right, and suffer again. So punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, right? Who said that? Shankaracharya, right? Sripada Shankaracharya said, Punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam. Like, iha samsare. So he says that it is so dukkha. I mean, he says, punarapi, again taking birth and again dying, and taking again birth in another mother's womb, because there are so many 84 lakh species. So every time, based on our desires, we go and take a birth in different species, right? So Prabhupada says, if somebody is having too much attraction, like he want to fly in the air, always they do. So such people, what will happen? So Krishna will give a suitable body where they can always flying, like they will become a bird. No? So in chapter 15, Krishna says, so how after a desire, a person, Mamaivamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. So with all the six senses, including mind, they are suffering. And he says, Shotram chakshus pashanam cha rasanam granam cha adhischaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. So accordingly, as per the desire, he develops a certain kind of ear, certain kind of smell. No, we see all the animals have a different kind of sense organs. It's not similar. It's all because of one's desire. They get a different kind of senses. But so by seeing all that, by seeing the materialistic people, so these no, Prabhupada mentions here Bhajananandi and Goshtanandi. So what is Prabhupada here? Is it Bhajananandi or Goshtanandi?
Mataji, Goshtanandi.
Yeah. So what is Bhajananandi and what is Goshtanandi?
Bhajananandi, as I read, Mataji, are people who are doing things for their desires, and Goshtanandi are spreading Krishna consciousness and preaching about Krishna.
Yeah, Bhajananandi means always engaging in the chanting of the holy name, right? So they're also doing, but they are not interested in preaching, like Jada Bharat, right? And also we have in our parampara Gaur Kishore Baburji Maharaj. So he was not interested in any talks or anything. He didn't wanted to waste his time. Always engaged in chanting, to the extent that he used to sit in a public toilet. It is said. So they used to sit and chant, so that nobody else will, because it will smell, right? Public toilet means it will smell. Nobody will go near. So he will sit there and chant, so that people will not come and disturb. Because when people used to see him, Swamiji, they'll come and they'll ask for blessing and benedictions. No, that is what people are like. Okay, if I come to Swami, I can ask some benediction. So he was not interested in those things. So I heard recently this from I don't remember, is it Aishwarya Mataji or Anand Vilas Prabhuji in the class, Bhagavatam class. So when somebody is a devotee came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, you are actually better, because you are preaching everyone and making people Krishna conscious, compared to Gaur Kishore Babji Maharaj, because he was sitting and only chanting, right? So Prabhupada said immediately no. Very firmly he said no, right? So then why he said? Then he said, we can't say that. He is on a Paramahamsa platform, and he actually Prabhupada is also a Paramahamsa. He had to, for preaching, you have to come down to a Madhyamadhikari stage. Prabhupada is also like Uttamadhikari. But he said, no, I am actually taking the strength from them, right? He said like that. Just like we root to Krishna, everyone are satisfied, all demigods and everyone. So similarly, he is a source of my energy. He said, he's like, from that I am just taking little bit. So he said we can't say that. So they're all pure devotees. So yes, both are good. But yeah, so these are like Ghostanandi. So even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschit mam what? No, no, I'm telling a different sloka. न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चिन् मे प्रिय कृत्तमः भवितान I'm getting that verse. Actually, he says there's no one is more dear than him who is engaged in preaching. Right? You remember that shloka from chapter 18 where Krishna says that. So that is why the devotees are engaged in preaching. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, everyone has to preach and give Krishna consciousness to the everyone. I mean, he was so compassionate and he said, Yare deko tare kaho Krishna upadesh. So whatever we know, little bit, one has to give to others, because that is the real compassion. No? We may say that we are compassion, but then those compassion are all materialistic. It's not until we give Krishna to the other person. So there was a devotee called Vasudeva Vipra, right? You know, have you heard about it in Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Not yet,
Vasudeva
ma'am.
Vipra. Yeah. So Vasudeva Vipra, actually, he was suffering from leprosy. He was a great devotee and people were avoiding him because so much of wound, was there on his hands, and actually, literally worms were there. Worms on his hand and they were sucking the blood. And he was so compassionate. If some worm falls down, he used to take and keep it on the same wound again, because that is the food for that. And he thought that it is Krishna's arrangement. That's how he has arranged for all food for Eko vapi bahuna vidadati kaman. That he is the one who takes care of desires and hunger of all the living entities, 84 lakh species, who is taking care? Krishna. So he thought, and he was doing that. So once he come to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, he's coming to a devotee house, a Kurma Brahmana or something. He was coming to that devotee house, and this Vasudeva Vipra wanted to have his darshan. So when he went there, he come to know that just some time back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already left the place. So he felt so devastated, and actually he lost his senses. He fell in ground. He felt very bad that he was not able to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, is Paramatma, no, in the heart. So he could make out, and he immediately appeared in front of him. And not just appeared, he actually embraced him. No? He hugged, gave him a hug. And he was like terrified because people used to run. He said, even the most sinful persons run away from me. And you are the Supreme Lord. You are by this action, you are actually purifying me. So what happened? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him, all his leprosy went away. And he was actually in a lamenting that mood. Everything went away, and he became like a joyful, because Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, no? That is the stage one comes, that is the first stage of God realization. So when he came in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, immediately all his sorrow went and he became joyful, and everything vanished. And he was afraid that now he may forget Krishna, because now he became beautiful. His body became beautiful. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him instructed him that you have to do the preaching of Krishna consciousness to all the people. So that was his instruction. So that in that way you always remember me, and you will not engage in any sinful activities, or you will not do any sin. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always stressed on preaching. So that is why ours is also a preaching movement, and Prabhupada also, he like initially also when he took all the disciples and he just only two questions Prabhupada asked. Anybody knows for giving initiation, because it was so much of need of people that time to spread this Krishna conscious. You can't wait like right, more and more now it is becoming strict, right? So like only initiated people, future it may come like only initiated people will take class. All this will come when a temple become very advanced and coming to a stage it can sustain. But initially when you can't, right? You have to, everybody has to go on to the roads and preach, because in west nobody were in in God conscious. Yes, they were going to church, but then what is the point? They were not following the preachings of what Jesus said. He was uh, what Prabhupada was asking, anyone knows what two questions for initiating?
Who is Krishna and who are you?
Yeah, actually, he was asking who is Krishna, no, or who is God, no, Krishna, right? Who is God? I mean, he was only asking, and Mahamantra, right? I think Mahamantra. So basically, you have to say, and who is Krishna? And then you have to say Supreme Personality of Godhead, because there are so many gods, right? People will get, it cannot leave. So God is God, somebody can tell, but then God, Prabhupada, somebody asked, why you kept ISKCON, no? International Society for Krishna Conscious. You can God conscious. Why did you keep Krishna? Prabhupada said no, because if I keep God, so many people will say. So this is different, no? They can call that it is not for this God or that God, many gods. So many confusion. So God is only Krishna, right? Bhagavan, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So everywhere we see in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Krishna is being addressed as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is one. He is a Parashara Muni. How does he define Parashara Muni Bhagavan? What is the definition of Bhagavan given by Parashara Muni? One who is full in 6 opulences. What are the 6 opulences? All
Wealth,
beauty,
knowledge, fame,
knowledge, yes, fame, renunciation,
and the
All beauty,
yeah, beauty, wealth, renunciation, fame, knowledge. Anything
strength.
left?
Strength.
Yes. So that is what is the definition of the God. So that is why Prabhupada gave that. And Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent incarnation, it is said, because he is the most compassionate. And also, but the devotees are more compassionate than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu was more compassionate, right? We know the example of Jagai Madai, like how they were actually trying to harm the devotees, harm the Nityananda Prabhu. But then Nityananda Prabhu, out of mercy, actually, he knew that they were all very most sinful people. So he thought, how can we deliver those people, from this cycle of birth and death? So he went where they are, and he got hurt. And when he was hurt, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he took a promise that they would not again do that, and he delivered them. Right. So the devotees are more compassionate compared than the Lord. That is why here also they are, because even I think in yesterday's Bhagavatam also, Prabhu was saying that it is, we may think, do you believe that just by doing 16 rounds and doing this austerity or doing your Ekadashi, we can go back to Godhead? It is not possible, because it's not easy to please Krishna. Because there are examples in, so many millions of years, the yogis, they do tapas. So why is Krishna not pleased then? No, it is because we need a mercy of a Vaishnava Guru. So because Prabhupada has said, so he was quoting an example of, I think George Harrison. He was a musician, right? So Prabhupada had told him that you will go back to Godhead, though he was not doing 16 rounds then. But but then he is not doing 16 rounds. So we may think, how can he go? But yes, he will go, right? Because Prabhupada has told that he will go. And Prabhupada had told many people like that who are engaged in, because the main thing is we have to please the Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava, that pure devotee. So when in Mumbai, they were constructing the temple, Juhu, ISKCON. So that time there was the person who was building, who was the sculpture. He was very favorite for Prabhupada, because Prabhupada said that once he came to see Prabhupada, and he was full dirty, his cloth and everything. And he came, and all his disciples stopped him. No, it was late, and they stopped that they see, you can't meet Prabhupada now. You please go, take bath. Tomorrow you can come and meet. So Prabhupada somehow heard that this person has come. And Prabhupada immediately said, please send him. No, I want to see him. So he went inside, and they were all surprised. How come Prabhupada is meeting? He looks so dirty and all that. See, they don't see on the material platform, right? He called him, and Prabhupada was so pleased. Prabhupada told him that you are building temple for Krishna, and Krishna is thinking, how do I build a temple for you? So Krishna is building a temple in Vaikuntha, right, for you in Goloka. So by hearing that, the devotees were shocked, because they knew very well that if Prabhupada is saying something, then it is truth, right? He will not say any lie. And if Prabhupada is saying that, then obviously 100% is go back. So, but he didn't do anything. But only thing, he pleased. So if we please Guru, that is the way of getting mercy of Krishna also. Any examples you can give? I think a couple of them we quoted now also, like Brugari. So any other examples where by compassion of devotees, the people got delivered? Who can quote many examples? Hare Krishna.
Durvasa Muni was saved because Ambarish Maharaj was,
Yes.
he forgave him,
Yes.
even though the Supreme Lord
Yes.
did not.
Very nice. Yes. So Krishna said that I can't help, right? Even nobody were able to help him. He first went to Lord Shiva, he went to Brahma, and he went to Lord Vishnu himself. Vishnu said, once Sudarshana Chakra, no, I can't do anything. Sudarshana Chakra, once I leave, I can't take it back. You have to convince Amrish Maharaj. So Amrish Maharaj was so compassionate, because he is like, it is said the devotees are like non-envious, and they don't have any enemies. No? Yes, yeah, good example, Mataji. Any other examples?
Jagai Madai were
Yes, Jagamayadai. And then we have, what is that? Ajamila also, right? Ajamila, yes. No, Ajamila was different. He didn't come in contact with the devotee. But then, yeah, we have like Nalakuvera, right? Mercy of Narad Muni, they got delivered actually. Otherwise, they had become Arjuna. He only cursed, and he told how they can come out of curse also, right? So, yeah. So there are, so Prabhupada, says that a devotee means, so we can see a verse here. First qualification is he should be a sadhu. So what is the definition of sadhu? Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.21 says, Titikshavaha karunikaha surda sarvadehinam ajata shatravashanta sadhava sadhu bhushanaha. Titikshavaha, tolerant. One should be very tolerant when it comes to this devotional service. So Prabhupada says, like Haridas Thakur, he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, but still he was very tolerant, because he wanted to give the people, he was always chanting 192 rounds, he was chanting the name of the Lord. But then he was so much tolerant. Still, he didn't give up his devotional service. So many times we feel like giving up when we have external, we are facing some problems, or it could be health or circumstance. We may give up. But then the best example is Haridas Thakur, Namachari Haridas Thakur, where he was beaten in 22 market area, but then still he didn't give up the chanting of the holy name. So he showed that tolerance. And yeah, and another example in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, when they come to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those days it was a custom, tradition to keep a straw in the mouth. Means it is like humble. I am humble than a grass. To show that when they came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were very big scholars, and they had very materialistically, they were in a very high position. They considered themselves to be a Trunadapi Sunichena, no? They are like lower than a grass. They thought themselves, and they paid obeisances. So even Prabhupada said, if we have to give Krishna conscious, Prabhupada told his devotees, disciples, that you go to, even if that person may be a rascal, he is a politician, you should go and tell him, sir, you are very good. No, you're very good. No, you just appreciate them. And because somehow we have to give that book, or we have to make him a devotee. So just fall on his leg also, no problem, Prabhupada said. So however, somehow one has to give the mercy to other people also. So that is tolerance. And Karunika, merciful. So Suruda, friendly. Prabhupada says friendly is not only for human beings, but all other living entities. The pure devotee, they don't differentiate between other living entities. See, Prabhupada says, no, there are, we see in society, right? People have pets at home, but then they eat non-veg. So how is it justified? You speak so much of non-violence to animals, but at the same time you are eating meat. So that is not the way how a pure devotee sees. So he sees anyone like on the soul he sees, and he don't want to harm any living. Unnecessarily he will not harm. Ajata Shatravaha, inimical to anyone. So he don't have any enemies. Like Mataji gave example of Ambrish Maharaj. So no enemies, right? Because of his nature. So actually all these qualities manifest in a devotee by association with the Lord. Because Krishna is qualities we can't measure. Immeasurable it is. So we are getting a little bit from Krishna. When you get, so just like how we have bad association, we get those bad qualities we attract. Similarly, when we come in connection with the Krishna, so all these qualities are there. Krishna is the most merciful. Surudam Sarva Bhutanam. No, Krishna says, Bhuktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarva Bhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Vrichati. So how one can be peaceful? When we understand that Krishna is the enjoyer, supreme enjoyer, and understanding that he is the only controller of everything, not trying to control. No, we don't exercise control on others. We know that completely in Krishna in control. Surudam Sarvabhutanam, he is a well-wisher of all the living entities. So when we understand, then that time one can be at peace. So sadhava, so abiding by scriptures. So one has to follow whatever given in scriptures. And Prabhupada says here actually in the purport at the end that a sadhu means what? Definition means a sadhu is a person who is actually obeying the scriptures and leading the life according to it. That person is sadhu. The Paritranaya sadhunam, when Krishna says, that is this sadhu. Not like, okay, we cannot say, okay, why something is happening to someone, why Krishna is not coming. Krishna will not come. No, Krishna is not so cheap. So Krishna is talking about sadhu in the sense he should have these qualities of a sadhu. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashayate dushkutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, Krishna says there. Okay. Okay, maybe we can stop here. So this is basically which says that the Vaishnavas, they are more compassionate on the fallen conditioned souls than the Lord himself. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha anantakoti vaishnavindi ki jai namah Radha Thakur ki jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to add anything? Or Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. We can chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. Anyone joining for the temple opening?
Mataji,
Inauguration.
I have to go.
You're coming, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Oh, very nice. Okay, you are in any Sevas? Seva?
No, Mataji, it cannot.
Okay, when you are reaching on the same day, is it, or previous day?
No, Mataji, I live in Mangalore. I'm living
Oh, you live in Mangalore?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, fine. So you can come on this. Nice. Okay, Mataji, please meet me. I'll also come there. Let me know. I don't know if I have already met you. I don't remember. Thank you, everyone. Okay, please try to join. Others, still we have time. Anyone able to make it, please do come. It's going to be a very grand opening, and we can engage in service also. Who are interested, who are coming, can engage in different services are also there. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.